Hey guys, welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be talking about our plan to take our new to us vintage motorhome on a cross-country trip for a month with a family of 9. So I'm going to get into the hows and the whys and some of what we plan to do. Okay, so I had mentioned some of this in a previous video, but I want to just put it all together in one spot so that if there's any questions, you guys can refer back to it. And if new people find us on our journey, they can refer back to it. So anyway, like I mentioned, we are technically a family of 10. Our oldest son is on his own and working full time, and so he won't be part of this trip, unfortunately. He's 21. But then our other 7 kids, Elizabeth is 18, Erin is 16, Emma's 14, she will be 15 when we go, Caleb is 13, Evie is 11, but will be 12 when we go, and Abby is 10 and Micah is 8, and so we are planning on taking the 9 of us, my husband and I included, on a trip. And so part of this is because Elizabeth graduated and she's going to college in the state of Indiana. We live in the state of Maryland and we need to take her to college in August. She's working at a summer camp until then, but the 1st of August she's done there and we need to have her to college by like August 17th or so. So we knew we were going to have to take her out. We knew everybody wanted to go with us. We also have always dreamed of traveling with our kids. In 2019, we had started to save money. We were going to buy a schoolie, get it completely outfitted for us, and we wanted to go to Montana because I was born in Montana. I have not been there since I was 9. My husband has, I think, been through Montana. None of my kids have gone, all of that. And then COVID happened and that plan just got scrapped. We weren't sure, you know, like everyone else, what the world was going to be like. Was it going to be safe to travel? Were we going to be allowed to travel? All these things. So we scrapped that idea and we got chickens instead and did the whole, you know, COVID chicken thing. We'd had them before, but we didn't have them at that point. Anyway, so we were talking about this and we talked about driving out, finding an Airbnb and all of that to take Elizabeth to college. And we just decided, you know what, we should make it an RV trip, a driving trip. And so ordinarily for a vacation, you know, you have to save money to afford to go. You have to take time off work. You have to figure all that out with your employer. And that is where our story is a little bit different than most. So my husband is an independent contractor truck driver. So he works for right now 3 different companies, and he takes trucks that just need to be moved. Just a truck, not a truck and trailer. He takes RVs, he takes box trucks, he takes garbage trucks, he takes cab and chassis that'll become like a dump truck, he takes road tractor, just the cab part, you know. All these things from point A to point B, moves them. He usually tows a little car behind him that he will, when he gets to the location, unhooks that car, drives home. So in order for us to do this trip, our plan is for him to select loads, select trucks that need to be moved in whatever direction we want to go, and then I will follow behind in the RV with the kids. And so we'll go, you know, maybe a couple hundred miles, a few hundred miles in a day to deliver a truck, and then we'll have the evening in a location depending on how much money that load made. Maybe we can take the next day and just stay somewhere. For truck drivers, there are hours of service laws, so he can only be on duty for, I believe it's 14 hours a day. It might be 16 hours with 14 hours driving, something like that, 14 to 16 hours a day that he can be working. And so he will drive part of that. We'll stop for the night somewhere, and then the next day kind of do the same thing. But I think it's every 5 or 6 days, you have to take a 34-hour reset. So he will be stopped in one location for over a day at least. Usually he takes Saturdays and Sundays off both, and will probably continue to do that. So every weekend we will be stopped somewhere for the duration of the weekend and get to see some things and experience some things that we wouldn't be able to otherwise. So this means that yes, I'm driving that and it costs way more in gas than his little Saturn does, but it's a way that he can continue to work and provide for our family and pay for the expenses of the trip. There's no taking time off and all of that. So a lot of the loads that they have that he is not able to currently take because he tries to be home most nights are, you know, long ones, and we'll be able to do those kinds of loads with him. So that is how we're doing it, how we're affording it, because, you know, as a large family who has never made more money than the federal poverty line, it does seem kind of like sketchy, you know, like how are they affording to take a month and just be on the road when they make no money? But that's why, and that's how. So we will be eating all of our own food. Basically, we'll be grocery shopping and cooking in the camper and all of that. It's not going to be a conventional vacation where everybody's eating out and going to expensive paid things, but our children are going to get to see a good portion of the country that they've never gotten to see before, and we're really looking forward to that. So the reason that we chose this as opposed to other options, first let me tell you what the other options were that we considered. We talked about getting a school bus. We even went and looked at a short bus. So the issues with that is it costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time to renovate them into something that would be comfortable for our entire family for an extended period of time. I just realized the cat's asleep over here. So that was kind of, wasn't going to work out as well unless we had started a year ago. We talked about just getting a camper to pull behind our van, but that would have to be a very light camper, like a pop-up or just something very small that again would be really difficult for our whole family. And also, we are probably not going to be spending every night at a campground. We will be sleeping in Walmart parking lots, at truck stops, at rest areas, that kind of thing, because campgrounds are, you know, out of the way. And with my husband working and taking a truck, he has to take, you know, the straight line between two places, or as straight as possible. And so finding a campground every night is just not logical. And a lot of those places don't allow you to set up a pop-up camper, something that you have to actually expand. You know, you can't just pull in and park and sleep and move out in the morning. So that was why we decided not to do that. There are also a lot smaller campers. Again, there's 9 of us. There'll be 8 of us on the way home after we drop Elizabeth, but there are also much, much bigger campers. This is called a Class C camper because it has the van front end, and then there are the Class A campers that look like a bus, you know, a transit bus or whatever, that have like the flat nose and the wheels sit back underneath the seats. So those ones, even though they are bigger, actually had less ability to sleep people. Like you couldn't fit as many people in there to sleep as you can in one of these smaller vehicles. So that was one thing. Also, this gets 6 or 7 miles to the gallon. Those get 3 to 7 miles to the gallon. So this one, actually, they say for these, they get anywhere from like 7 to 10. But I'm just gonna say, since it is a it's a large V8. It's a Ford 460 engine that's in there. It likes its gas, but not as much as those big Class A motorhomes. So this felt like the perfect middle ground, easy to drive, easy to work on, or easier to work on than the big bus, better fuel economy, more sleeping arrangement options without having to do major renovations. They're also fairly inexpensive. Like I said, we spent $5,000 on this. It has 124,000 miles on the engine. So yeah, we're really looking forward to going. We're planning on being away from home all of August. We'll have somebody staying at home to, you know, take care of our animals and get the mail and, you know, all that stuff while we're gone. But yes, very much looking forward to making memories. One thing is, some people have said, well, it's going to be really difficult to travel that much with all these kids, and yes, it kind of is. And we've had people insinuate that maybe we should wait until the kids are older and then we'll have time to travel, or we should do it this way, or we should do it that way, or whatever. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I always wanted to do that. I wanted to do that in my retirement, or I always dreamed about doing that. And so here's the thing. We are not promised tomorrow. We're just not. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know what our health is going to be like. We don't know if the people we love are still going to be there. And so now is the time. We can make this work now, however imperfectly. We can figure out the finances, however imperfectly. And we're going to make the memories while we still can with the kids who are able to go. Yeah, I wish we could have done it whenever we had all the kids, when Alex was still, more active in our everyday lives, and that didn't work out. But, hindsight's 20/20. I wish we could have done that, but this is the next best thing. Make the memories, take the trips, do the things. My father-in-law always talked about traveling the country with my mother-in-law after he retired. They were going to get like the motorcycle with a sidecar, and just go and see all these things. They had family, across the country, and they talked about it. And he got cancer at 49 and he was gone at 50. And she never got to do it, and they don't have those memories. And so we're doing the thing. We're making the memories while we can. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I will be sure to be bringing you along as things unfold and change, and I'll show you how we organize this and how we make it work. There's a lot of things we need to learn. We've never camped like this, never had anything like this. I've never driven it yet. My husband drove it yesterday, but I hope that you will follow along, and I hope that you will be encouraged to make memories and do what you can now. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.